This is Hassan, and this is also Hassan now. But wait, let me give you guys the full story. 6 months ago, in April 2025, my life changed in a way I never expected. That morning, I was on my way to the gym when I saw a small boy hopping across the road on one leg, carrying a tray of buns on his head. I slowed down, confused at first, and then my heart sank. He was just 6 years old, a child, one leg gone, hawking under the sun like life has already given up on him. I stopped. I reversed my car. I couldn't just drive away. When I got to him, I asked how much the buns were. He said softly, 200 naira each, auntie. I bought everything. Then I asked him,
What happened to your leg? Kada. You dey come from school, Kada can't jam you. Now so they can't cut your leg. Since that time you don't go school. You don't go school. What happened?
a bike man hit me when I was coming back from school and my leg fell off instantly. That sentence tore me apart. A 6 years old saying my leg fell off like it was a normal story. He told me he hasn't been to school since that day. Instead, he hawks buns and sells pure water. Sometimes he begs for money just so he can send whatever he gets home to his mother and younger sibling. Imagine that. A 6 years old boy with one leg being the breadwinner of his family. That day, I took him to the market, bought him clothes and some food. I asked where he lived and he took me there. When we arrived, my heart broke even more. He lived with a group of Hausa fruit sellers. They allowed him to stay around them. Then at night, he would crawl under the wooden table where they sold fruits. That was where he slept, under a table, by the roadside, beside a bridge, with no roof, no wall, no comfort. Rain, sun, mosquitoes, that was his reality. I asked about his family and I was told his father died long ago and his mother lived far away in a remote village in the northern part of Nigeria. She had no means to care for him. So little Hassan had no one, only strangers who let him stay close because they pitied him and sent whatever he makes of begging and selling things on the street to his family. He is, of course, the breadwinner. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing his voice. I kept seeing his small body hopping on one foot. The next morning, I went back there to see him again. I asked, Hassan, how would you feel if one day you could walk again on two legs? He looked up and smiled and said, Auntie, I'll be very happy. Oh. Hassan has one of the brightest smiles, with his teeth so white like snow. That smile became my mission. I spoke to the men he was staying with and asked for permission to help him. They agreed. I gave them some money so he wouldn't have to hawk or beg anymore. I found his mom's number and spoke to her. I sent her 500,000 so she could start a little business and not rely on Hassan again. Next, I began searching for a hospital that could help him walk again. The first hospital we went to said a prosthetic leg would cost 5 million naira. 5 million naira? My heart sank. And at that time, I wasn't prepared for that kind of expenses. I wasn't getting much support from my platform then, but I told myself I wouldn't give up. I started doing my research, and that was how I found Ifan Health on the mainland. I lived on the island, and that was a long distance, but I didn't care. I knew I had to go. When we got there for the first time, the doctors welcomed us warmly. They examined Hassan and explained that because he was still growing up, his bones were also growing from the amputated area, and because when he had his accident, he was taken to a local doctor who didn't perform a proper surgery. He would first need a corrective surgery before getting a prosthetic leg. Oh my God. That was when I realized that this was going to be a very long, complicated journey. We were referred to different hospitals, Ibobi for a start. When we got to Ibobi, we were asked to wait for 6 hours just to see a doctor because the line of people waiting was too long. Out of frustration, we had to come back the next day. We also tried other private hospitals, but we didn't get immediate response. Then we went back to Ifan Health and they referred us to Lagos State Teaching Hospital, Lasut. There were days when we spent hours in traffic and 7 hours sitting in the hospital waiting to see a doctor. Days I was exhausted, frustrated, but couldn't stop. I had already promised that child that one day he would walk again. After visiting 6 different hospitals, 2 government and 4 private hospitals, Ifan Health finally agreed to support Hassan's surgery. They covered part of the cost, while I handled accommodation, transportation, and other expenses. The surgery was done successfully. Hassan stayed 1 month in the hospital and then 3 more months at home to recover. Those months were long, filled with pain and courage, but he made it. Then came the miracle I never saw coming. One day, I received a call from Ifan Health. They said there was good news, and I asked what the news was. They said Hassan has been selected for full sponsorship by Stanbic IBTC Bank. They were going to provide him with fully funded prosthetic leg and sponsor his education until he turns 18. I broke down in tears. All the sleepless nights, all the long trips, all the prayers, God had them all. Through Ifan Health and Stanbic IBTC, Hassan got a new leg, a new chance, and a new life. His prosthetic journey began, and they didn't just give him a leg. They trained him on how to walk again, how to climb stairs, how to run, and even how to play football. Today, Hassan can walk on 2 legs. He can run, hey! He can smile again. From hawking bones on 1 foot to walking confidently in 2 legs, from sleeping under a table to dreaming of going back to school again. This has been 6-month journey of faith, tears, and miracle. A journey that proved that when love leads, anything can happen. That humanity is the best form of religion. But one last thing still breaks my heart. Hassan has no home. After all this, he still go back to sleep under that same table by the roadside. I already took Ibrahim off the street to come live with me, and I wish I could take Hassan too. But if anyone out there can help with a home, with adoption, or even a safe accommodation, please reach out to me, because I have reached out to the family and they don't seem to care. He has been through too much to still sleep in the cold. Let's not let him go back to the streets after God has lifted him. Please, let's give Hassan a home. He deserves love, warmth, and a future, not another night under the bridge. God bless everyone who stood by us on this journey. God bless Ifan Health Hospital. God bless Stanbic IBTC. And above all, God bless little Hassan, the boy who taught me that faith can stand even on 1 leg. When I have you went to the club? You know what that is? Hey, congratulations.
Wow. Wow. So my colleagues here with me, what we are doing now is our practice. We do it for every single patient that passes through us. Sponsored, self-paid. We have to know our patients to make sure we meet their expectations. So we will start with our team, who will tell us their journey so far. And for them, we also want to hear, even though Hassan's story we all know it, but we still want to hear a little bit what happens, how you get here.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are happy that we got a new leg. Kaji inda abu ya fasa kafa ko kafarin ma ya kare ko abu ya faru da kafarin kafarin kada kashi ko ina ka ce a gyara maka kafanka ko ya fara maka zafi kaka ce kafanka yana maka zafi a kai ka wuri ka fada mu za ka hauka nan ayi su ne za su dinga komi kuma ka girma ka fi kafarin bai daidai kuma ba za su baka wani kaji za su dinga gyara kafarin za su dinga yanzu abu da ya shafi kafarin ne su ne za su dinga lura da shi.
Okay, just
he said he was actually on his way to school that he had this accident.
Wow.
He was going to school when Okada hit him. Okada Lego. He was coming back from school, bike hit him and the leg fell off. So since then he didn't go back to school. Popularly known as Lady Jasmine C, a philanthropist, a Nollywood actress, and a lover of Christ. Sometime around April 2025, I was on my way going to the gym when I saw Hassan hawking bones on the streets with 1 leg, and he had this crutches by his side, working strongly. And when I saw that, it was too many things in one picture. It was Hassan, a very young boy underage, with 1 foot, carrying a lot on his head, and that really touched me. I had to stop. I reversed. I tried to purchase some of the things he was selling and asked him if I could help him, and he said yes, in a very broad manner. And that is how the journey started.